Time for a few Trick albums, everyone. Figured why not go into a vault a little bit and think of some CDs that a lot of people may not have heard. So I'm sure a lot of you who've been on my channel probably know who Wiz Khalifa is, and I'm assuming you know who Snoop Dogg is as well. But the thing about what you may not have known is they did a collaboration album. And usually collaboration albums get scrapped, and it's usually because of the label and clearance issues and all that. I've heard multiple stories of that. It's usually quite the disappointment, but there was a movie that came out, so if you're looking for more Snoop Dogg, he's actually done some movies, and Wiz Khalifa, I think this was like his debut. So it's called Mac and Devin Go to High School. There's going to be a sequel to it. At least there was one planned. I don't know, but it's a stoner flick. It just deals with some of the stuff. So this album is primarily based upon smoking, and a little bit, I think it ties into the movie as well. Now the problem with it is just that half of it's a real mainstream album. So this is something I recommend you go to kind of to start out. If you've listened to Wiz Khalifa for the past few years, you probably should just check this one out and look into it. And Snoop, he, of course, he's a mainstream rapper, so you never know. I personally like Snoop Dogg when he's more on like some of the Up in Smoke tour and Gathering of the Juggalos type songs, like trying to think of a song like Gin and Juice type songs more than like this beautiful that song. So, but he works, and these sort of records are going to win, but it's just the album is not a complete winner. So, but you do need to look into it. So you can smoke to this release. You don't have to worry about that. Of course, it's made for smoking, and I think it's a wise choice. Couple songs to smoke to besides the Young, Wild, and Free. I would say I Get Lifted, French Inhale, It Could Be Easy, That Good. These are some real smooth ones to smoke to. Smoking On is not bad, but I mean, it didn't quite work for me, but you actually might get, wanting it. And OG is another one that had like very light touch to it, but just couldn't quite pull it off. So the production, this is the main reason why I didn't like this CD as much as I possibly could have. There's 12 songs on here, so what that means is I like 6 of them, and then there's a 7th one that's kind of bubbling, but I just couldn't say it's a true hit. So some songs like 630 and Let's Go Study and OG, these beats really kind of do not captivate you, and I feel like they were just put on there just to fill up space. The topics, the topics themselves feel kind of awkward almost. 630, Let's Go Study, OG, and they just didn't really, like for Snoop Dogg, making an album just about smoking should come naturally. I would assume that you could come up with not just smoking songs, but also like scenarios and situations that people would be going through if they truly do smoke every day. And as far as that's concerned, I was a little disappointed. But it's, the music, the song that is good, the songs that are good, if you play these songs, people are going to be like, well, what is this? I've never heard these before, because it's naturally an overlooked album. So yeah, that leads me to the unheard songs. Those are like the only two problems, is just that the not all of the songs happen to be as, good for smoking. Like, you think an album, you look to Cypress Hill or Dr. Dre or like Too Short or Tech Nine for smoking songs, and it's not grade, it's not triple A, in other words. But some of the other songs that I didn't like smoking on, I just couldn't get into the beat that well. And You Can Put It in a Zag, I felt like that song was too short. They quit rapping at about 2 minutes in. That one was close to being an almost song. It was just way too short. Felt almost just like a little placeholder. But yeah, I already discussed the other three songs that I didn't like. But songs I did like, I Get Lifted, definitely go for that one. Young, Wild, and Free. And then the whole last half of the album is basically, except, top notch. French Inhale, It Could Be Easy, World Class, That Good. These are all bomb songs. These are some of the best songs that I've heard from Snoop and Wiz as a combination. They just work. These could be on albums, and they're good smoking songs. They do their job. You don't have to worry about that. You could smoke countless days to these songs. But, just, we needed more. That's the only thing. OG, I want to say that was close, but I just wanted to like the beat a little bit more. Talent Show has a really good hook. This is an almost song, but I just didn't like the instrumental on it. So maybe I'll like it down the road, but I'm going to just say that I did like it. So those were a couple extras. And like I said, You Can Put It in a Zag was just too short. So I'm going to give this album, because I like 6 out of 12. And then I like that almost song. I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. I want to give it a 6.5, but I'll give it a 7. Just because the songs were that good. And really, yeah, I mean, some of these songs you may end up liking down the road, but it just might take some patience. The only thing is they just lack the punch and finesse of some of the other ones. But yeah, I mean, so you got some good stuff. You definitely do. You don't have to worry about like this running out of steam. If you put this CD in, it's not going to be like people are going to want you to throw it out 5 seconds later. You don't have to worry about that. Which leads me to the social score. Because people automatically should know Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg if they listen to rap, this is a valid choice. Now the thing is, I'm assuming that most people have heard a song. It's gotten rotation, the Bruno Mars song, but there wasn't any following songs after this. The promotion wrapped up as quickly as it started. So you have to kind of explore yourself. But luckily there are some songs, but it is primarily based on marijuana. So there's just not a lot else going on. But I do feel like everyone needs a few party numbers. So I'm going to give this album like an 8 social. Just because it's a good look. This is kind of like a secret album that you can find and you'll enjoy it. I think it can be topped. And you'll just have to see. I mean, I could reiterate over and over the weaknesses of the album, but I'm trying to make these pack a punch. So yeah, I think it can be topped. So subscribe for more fun. I give this album a 7. Almost, I want to give it a 6.5, but I just felt like, I did like these songs pretty good. So I'll give it a 7. There's an almost song on there. There might be 1 or 2 brewing besides that. So Let's pay attention to it. 8 social.